Well, this is Fred Catero, our guest speaker tonight. He's a sound engineer and has been was with Columbia Records for over 35 years. He started out in New York. I need a mic.
In Nueva York. Yeah. Here's a mic. Oh, the wireless? Just one.
He was born and raised in New York City, and that's where he got his start in sound, and he'll go over that as part of his story tonight. Fred is a founding member of the National Academy of Recording Arts and Sciences, which we now more familiarly know as the Grammys, is how we know them now. But he was a founding member of that. So I'd like Fred to take over at this point, and thank you so much for being with us and for your generous raffle items, Fred.
Well, thank you. I did this once before, and that's why I did this once before, and apparently enough people liked it, and so Christy asked me if I'd do it for the computer club. So basically what it is all my life I've wanted to preserve things. Even as a child, I got interested in recording, and
oh, okay. Is it okay? I just
don't like the pop.
This is the kind of mic that you have to aim right at your mouth.
Oh, I see. Okay, great.
It's not the kind where you speak over the top.
Right. Okay. From when I was a child, I got a recording machine that my mother paid dearly for that cut discs, and I started recording in 1945, and I would record off the radio. So I don't want to get into a big long thing about how I got started. Just that I've been doing this for years, and it's been my love to preserve old radio broadcasts. And through the years, I've been able to amass about 35,000 radio shows. This is one almost like the Bible. It's called Tune In Yesterday, and it gives you a synopsis of all the different shows in fact they have pictures of the stars and things, of all the shows that the author could find. And I've got many of those. I want to show you just an example so you know how much. This is the written file of some of the shows were on transcription. What's a transcription? This is a radio transcription. Any of you who used to listen to old-time radio remember, by special recording, the Lone Ranger, and this is the special recording. These, in the early days of broadcasting, they didn't have the kind of Class A lines and satellites that they do today. So the way you could broadcast, or the way, for instance, a show that originated in New York could not be brought through the phone lines because they weren't high enough quality. So the way it worked, and also the time difference, I mean, anything that happened in New York at 9 o'clock at night or 8 o'clock at night, which was prime time, would be like 5 o'clock here. It didn't make sense. So what they did was they would record these shows on these transcriptions, and they press them and send them to the different affiliates of the networks. There were the four major networks: NBC, CBS, W Network, Mutual, and ABC, American Broadcasting System. And they would record these, and then they put on the record the date that it should be broadcast. So sometimes you didn't hear it the same day. That's quite obvious. But it would say play it at 8 p.m. on the West Coast, whatever. But before they made these, they had to cut them on these. See, this is a pressing, just like an LP. So this plastic, just like an LP, and only the grooves are much bigger. And it still only runs 15 minutes a side. and it runs at 33 1/3 RPM. This is interesting. When I was looking through it, I found this thing. Look at the condition of this. So many of these shows that I got came from records like that.
The Lone Stranger.
There is a Lone Stranger.
Here we go, Walt.
There aren't very many young people in this.
Fiery horse with the speed of light, the cloud of dust, and a hearty hi-yo silver, the Lone Ranger.
Now this, they would talk over this and do their commercial thing.
With his faithful Indian companion Tonto, the masked rider of the plains led the fight for law and order in the early western United States. The stories of his strength and courage, his daring and resourcefulness have come down to us through the generations. And nowhere in the pages of history can one find a greater champion of justice. Return with us now to those thrilling days of yesteryear. From out of the past come the thundering hoofbeats of the great horse Silver. The Lone Ranger rides again.
Come on, Silver! The tunnel and trail ahead! Well,